Hello, in our second video we're going to actually start to do stuff in Excel as opposed to just getting set up. You can use other spreadsheet software if you want to. Now we're going to do some basic formatting just to get used to the software. Okay, let's get started then. So once I opened Excel by searching for it on my computer, I get this screen first of all. So I get a home screen. It's asking me to start a new, what it calls a workbook, which is what the name is for the file we're working with. It also gives some templates. We can ignore these for now, even if they may be useful in the future. So I selected blank workbook. As I say, the workbook is this file. So what we see here, the first thing we look at once this opens is we have a bunch of, well, it's a grid really. And each of these sort of boxes within this grid is what we call a cell. So like a prison cell, this is an enclosed box where we can put data. And the fact that Excel works with all of these boxes can look quite ugly at first, but it's really, really powerful once we start to do some processing because we can target each individual box with its own bit of data and start to use it. If it is a bit small initially, you can always zoom in the bottom right, and we can see at the top we've got letters, we've got A, B, C, D, E, F, and it'll go on and on. It'll go on pretty much as far as you want beyond just this alphabet. It will start to repeat itself after a while. Same with the numbers on the left hand side. It starts off at 1 in the far left and will go on, not infinitely because your computer's only got so much space, but it will go on for a long, long time. So don't bother trying to get to the end of it or you'll be sat there for ages. It does give us plenty of room to put our data though. Like coordinates, we can use these values for letters and numbers to target each individual cell to reference it. So for example, this cell here is C4. And we can see in the top left it tells us this reference number C4, and we can use that later to actually target this cell. So likewise, this one is F2, this one is G6. Like coordinates, the horizontal value, which is G, is done before the vertical value, which is 6. So G6 as opposed to 6G. The letter always comes first. At the top, we have some different tabs, which will be fairly familiar, especially the home one, if you are used to other Microsoft products, especially this area, not so much the area down here. We have different groups, so we've got alignment, number, styles, cells here, and loads of different ones in these different tabs, most of which we're going to leave for a while. The first one, or today's video, is just going to be on home, because we're just going to do some basic formatting. Formatting is all about making things look a bit nicer. Now, Excel and spreadsheets more generally are not designed to be the most beautiful, creative product, right? They're not designed for that work. They're designed for storing and processing data. But it will become really hard to work with unless things look fairly nice. So let's say just as a practice, we want to use some data to have a table. Tables are work really well with Excel because we have this grid format. Let's just say I'm interested in the top goal scorers in the Premier League and I want to take this data and put it into a table in Excel, perhaps to make a graph, which will be the next thing we look at. All I did was just Google the Premier League top goal scorers, just for an example. We've got different players on the left hand side, we've got their clubs, their nationalities and how many goals they scored. Let me just start to input some of this data. So first of all, we want to do some headings in our table. So let's just start off in the far left cell. So we call this A1 if I click it. And I can type in the cell like I would normally. Let's give this a title up here. Let's call this Premier League, not Premier Leaf, Premier League top goal scorers. And if I click away, that's great. You'll notice it's kind of overspilled into what looks like cell B1 and cell C1. If I type in cell B1, just anything, let's do QWERTY, like that, and click away, you'll see it kind of gets rid of the second half of league and replaces it by QWERTY. What was in C1 is gone, and that's because despite this text Premier League top goal scorers being bigger than A1 was initially, it is still in A1. Even if it's sort of overflowing into the next cell, that still belongs to the cell we first clicked on. And the kind of the size of these cells only really matters to us in terms of our formatting, in terms of making it look nice. So what I can do to make sure that Premier League fits in to the left hand column, I can go between A and B up here, and once my mouse goes to that sort of double arrow, I can drag it and make that first column, the A column, long enough, it still needs to be longer, to show Premier League top goal scorers. So we can do it manually. I'll show you a quick way later. Okay, so that's our title. Let's get rid of QWERTY by pressing delete on it. And beneath this, we want a first heading. This is just our kind of title. We want a first heading. Let's call this name. So we're going to put the player's name. Let's also let's do their club, and let's then finally do the number of goals. because that's the whole point. To kind of this up here, we've got our title, but currently it's sort of awkwardly off to the left of our headings. So the title will look nicer if it's sort of across all of them. So if we try and drag it across, you'll notice the whole thing shifts over because we're dragging the entire A's column. Let's undo. There's an undo button up here at the top. So I'll go back to how it was before. If I want this to be in the middle and centered, what I can do is drag, so left click on this and drag across B and C. And now there's a button up here which says merge and center. And this does exactly what it says it does. If I click this, it merges cell A1, B1 and C1 into one big cell, and centers, makes this in the middle. We've got 3 options here for alignment. It does that for us. It puts this text in the middle. So now this branches over our 3 headings and looks a bit nicer. I can now resize this back so the name is not too big. Okay, now we can start to type in our data in our rows beneath our headings. And the data here, it can be anything. We're just practicing. So I've gone with the goal scorers. So the first one was Jamie Vardy, who plays for Leicester. And once I typed it in, I pushed my right arrow button on my keyboard to move between the cells. I could click between the cells if I want to. You can also, to move right, you can also press tab on your keyboard. A few different options available. And now he plays for Leicester and he scored, I believe, 19 goals. So if I now want to go down beneath 19, I press enter and it saves 19 there. I won't show you me doing this, but let's just add in 2 more. Okay, I've put in 2 more rows. You notice it's very squashed. It's not helped because some of the names are quite long, but it's very squashed. I said it's not meant to be beautiful, but we want it to be better than this. This is not really good enough. It's not very helpful to anyone. So what we can do, like I say before, we just drag our columns in between. But to do this more quickly, we can just double click. Instead of doing it ourselves, we can double click once we see that double arrow and it jumps and does it for us, which is helpful. So make sure it's the perfect length. Do the same here with B and between B and C. Double click, it makes it the correct width. Now it looks a bit nicer. I did forget here to type in Arsenal. Let me just do that. And also I noticed that I typed in Leicester but not Leicester City. That's kind of inconsistent with Manchester City down here. So what I want to do is add on City to this. If I just click on Leicester and type in City, it gets rid of Leicester, which is really frustrating, or can be for people, because you'll try and click something and try and change it, but actually it will just delete what you wrote before. This is because there is a difference between having clicked on a cell and being on the cell and also inside the cell. You want to be inside the cell to change it. Now I want to add Leicester before City. So if I click City and press anything, it will go. But if I double click on this cell, my cursor, you can see there's a flashing cursor, and now I can go back on my keyboard and type in Leicester like that. Okay, let's say I want to add a 4th goal scorer. So I've got Mo Salah here, who's also on 16 goals, and so he shouldn't really be below Aguero. Maybe if you are a Liverpool fan, you want Mo Salah to be higher than Aguero. So we could just replace Aguero with Mo Salah here and then put Aguero beneath in row 6. But we can also just insert a new row between Aubameyang and Aguero here. And we can do this by highlighting, so selecting multiple cells here. We're selecting A1, B1 and C1 over here. And if we right click and go to insert, and if we go shift cells down, we can also change it. We try different options if you want to, but shift cells down and press OK. It will put Aguero now down into row 6, and row 5 has been vacated, has been left open for a new entry. So let's type in Mo Salah. Okay, so I mentioned that tab wants us to go left. Say we want to go back to Mo Salah over here and make his name Mohammed as opposed to Mo. If I want to go left as opposed to right, tab makes us go right. If we do shift and tab, hold down shift and then press tab, it goes left and saves your value. So shift is what makes letters capital. I can do this again to go over to Mo Salah, and I can make sure I double click, not just click, and I can see my cursor, and now I can change this to his full name. If I want to go above, if I want to change Aubameyang for some reason, I can press shift and enter, or shift and return. So shift does the opposite. So we go enter to go down, shift enter to go up, tab to go right, and shift tab to go left. It's a good idea to use your keyboard because clicking around is quite irritating. Right, we've got a mini table here, not the worst looking table because we got rid of all that crowding by double clicking and it did it for us, but we're sort of missing some other hallmarks of a table to make it more distinct. We have got these sorts of grey lines which distinguish the cells, which is quite useful, but it doesn't make it look like a table because we've also got grey lines over here. So what we can do is click and drag over our In fact, let's just do the headings and the rows. Drag over, and if you want to add lines between them, darker lines than the ones over here, we can go up to the font group, and this button here, the border selection tool, we click the little drop down arrow here and go down to all borders, and all borders will make, if we click away, all of the lines a bit thicker. So this looks a bit more like a table now. We can also distinguish between our headings and our rows. The heading here looks the same as our rows, so we could drag over this, and I don't know, what could we do? We could make it bold. So we've got bold, italics, underline. We do all three if we're really keen, like that. Makes it a bit more distinct. We could also center it maybe, like that. We could also, there's a button here, a fill color button, and I can change the color. Yellow is a bit garish, so we could change this to another color with a drop down arrow like this. Blue is not much better. Could do green, and you can change the color of the text with this button here and so on. Make it bigger, so you can play around with the formatting and change things a bit. Maybe you want to, I don't know, make the names italics as well. Maybe the clubs should be the same color as the club, so Leicester sort of dark blue, Arsenal and Liverpool are both red, and City is light blue. They're the colours of the shirts, so you can do various formatting to make it look a bit nicer. Okay, I'm happy with my table, so I saved it, and make sure you save your work as well by going to File at the top, File, Save As, and save it to an appropriate place, and give it an appropriate name as well, otherwise it would be really hard to find. I called mine Basic Formatting. There's nothing worse than being not able to find your work because you saved it with a stupid name or in a stupid place. Okay, I would recommend you try these exercises here, the 2 exercises, just to make sure you can do the stuff I talked about in this video. First one is just trying to replicate this table in your own software. So adding the bold, adding the center up here, adding the different colours in these 4 cells, just to see if you can do the formatting we talked about. And the second one, a tiny bit harder, actually inserting, once you've got this table, inserting a 5th colour here, which is yellow, which has the value of 3.